Learning how to tailor your own clothes is easily, hands down, like one of not only the easiest things that you could possibly do, but also one of the greatest. In my opinion, the greatest. Because it completely changes every single garment that you have in your closet. Every single thing fits you differently. It fits you the way that you want it to. But there's a lot of people out there that are really apprehensive to try this, and I get it, I really do. At the end of the day, I understand. But here's the thing, you're taking one really big thing and you're throwing it onto the fire and you're making it even more overwhelming. And that's researching tools and accessories or buying them without realizing as to whether or not, like, what problem are you even trying to solve, or do you have that problem that they're trying to solve? You watch a couple of videos or tutorials and they have like 5 different rulers, 3 different kinds of scissors, a seam guide, a seam ripper, a magnetic seam guide, specialty presser feet, chalk wheels, a rotary wheel, all that stuff. And you're like, oh, well, clearly I need all of those things, right? I need all the things before I make my dress shirts and my t-shirts and my chinos and my jeans fit me the way that I want, right? No. I'm SD, and if you're new, I show guys like you how to tailor their own clothes at home. But hold on, you've been warned, because it's the most addicting thing in the entire world. So if you're up for the challenge, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, you've been warned. If your goal is to tailor your own clothes, you can go a long way with just a sewing machine, something to measure with, something to mark with, and then a basic pair of scissors. That right there, like, that's the entire setup. Everything else needs to kind of earn its way into your repertoire. I have no idea as to whether or not I use that word in the right context, so somebody's gonna let me know down in the comments, I'm sure. The first mistake that beginners will make when buying tools is buying a tool or accessory for a project that, like, you're not even going to do. Now, a lot of sewing tools, they're made for a very particular person. They're made for people who are into crafting or embroidery or quilting and things like that. Now, on this channel around here, we just want our clothes to fit us better. That's it. So cutting mats and rotary cutters, pattern weights and specialty rulers, tracing paper and then 15 different presser feet. No, you're just trying to make your dress shirt slimmer than it is. Those two worlds, like, they're not really that similar at all. They have some similarities, but they're also very disconnected in that, I mean, if you're just trying to make your dress shirts fit you better, all you need to do is measure it, and then you need to pin it, and then you need to sew it, and then you just need to cut off the extra fabric. You don't need a cutting mat or a rotary tool for that. You are editing a garment that already exists. The manufacturer did the hard part for you. They created the garment for you. All we're doing around here is we just kind of sand off the edges a little bit. That's it. We're just sanding off the edges. A lot of those tools are, the idea behind those tools is creating something from scratch, taking something that does not exist and bringing it into the world to exist. And that distinction right there is gonna save you so much money. So before buying any tool or accessory, make sure you ask yourself this question: what exactly am I trying to solve or do? What step will this help me complete, if any? And if the answer is super vague, then you don't need the tool. Man, oh man, this second mistake is buying specialty tools when the very normal basic version of that tool will work just fine. Let's take fabric markers as an example. There are a dozen different types of fabric markers out there, and all of them kind of preach the world to you in regards to, hey, you need to buy this one for this specific reason. It's excellent, it's amazing. There's water-soluble markers or chalk pencils, wax chalk and Tailor's chalk and chalk wheels. But hang on, come a little closer. For basic tailoring, the only thing that we need is something that will leave a mark on our clothes so that we can see what it is that we're altering. When I started all of this, when I started tailoring my own clothes and showing other people how to tailor their own clothes, I used sidewalk chalk. At that time, I think my daughter was probably around 5 or 6, somewhere around there. So we had sidewalk chalk aplenty at our house. It was amazing. So I looked at it and I said, let's see, it's light colored. It's gonna be able to easily be seen by my really old eyes. Perfect, okay. It's really big and thick, which means it's gonna last a very long time, especially if I have like 2 of them. She's not gonna notice if like 2 of the colors that she never uses are missing, right? She noticed. And most importantly, it's cheap and I can find it anywhere. The same goes for rulers. A very basic standard ruler that you can find at like Target or Walmart is gonna do you just fine. You can measure pant lengths and sleeve lengths and all that stuff. In the event that you want to use a ruler to taper, I do recommend getting a yardstick, something bigger, but it doesn't have to be a specialty yardstick, just like a big long one that you can like swat at people like that. Huzzah! Scissors are another one. I've seen some really, really expensive scissors out there, and I'll look look at the price and I'm like, $300 for this pair of scissors? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go buy my $6 pair of Fiskars at Target and I'm gonna be done with it. But there's one really important rule, and it's that your scissors, they never, ever, ever touch paper. They only touch fabric. They only cut fabric. Don't mix and match, because if you cut paper with them, it's gonna end up dulling them, which means you're gonna have some really bad results when you're cutting off the extra fabric on your garment for the raw edge. So if you see somebody in your household take your tailoring scissors and they're gonna go like try and wrap some Christmas presents with them, smack them. That very basic, boring version of that tool, it should start to feel limiting before you ever start looking into getting anything specialty. So don't upgrade any of these tools simply because somebody made, you know, the other one look a little bit more fancy, because you don't need it. It's gonna be a waste of money. Ask me how I know. The third mistake is buying a tool to fix a skill problem or to fix a lack of reps problem. This one can get really expensive really quick because your stitches are coming out crooked and you're like, oh, what's going on? So you buy a magnetic seam guide, or your garment starts shifting, so you buy special clip. Or your jeans, they're harder to sew, so you upgrade to a heavy duty machine. And sometimes that tool can help marginally, but really, at the end of the day, what the issue is you're not getting in enough reps. You need more practice. You just gotta practice this more often. A magnetic seam guide, it's going to help in regards to helping your stitches be straight, but it can only do so much. You still have to guide that garment in regards to where it is you want it to go. If it starts coming out crooked, your magnetic seam guide, it's not gonna do anything. All it's doing is showing you a gap. It's straight and your garment's crooked. That's it. A stronger heavy-duty sewing machine, can it work through thicker materials easier? Yeah, absolutely. But guess what? A worn universal needle in that heavy-duty machine, it's not gonna be doing you any favors. You're gonna be back at square one. So before you buy any tools or accessories, make sure that the issue isn't your current setup. And by that I mean check the needle, or make sure the machine is threaded correctly, or make sure that you actually have thread down there on your bobbin. Slow everything down and support the weight of your garment so it's not hanging out the side of your machine. And most of all, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Get those reps in. Because a lot of these issues aren't I need a better tool issues. They're more so I need to understand what this machine is doing issue. And that's not meant to discourage you at all. It's ultimately meant to save you some stress and a lot of money. The fourth mistake is buying really large specialty kits because you get like 1,000 of something for like 20 bucks. Like a 100-piece beginner sewing set. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, perfect, I'm gonna get everything that I need all in one bundle. And yeah, technically, yeah, you're gonna get 100 different objects, yeah, but whether or not any of them are any good is a completely different question. Because a lot of the tools in those kits, they are the bare minimum in regards to quality. It's ridiculous. Like the pair of scissors you have will be really small and janky, and they're already dull, they don't work very well. The thread, it's gonna be more so thread that you use for hand sewing. It's not gonna be made for your sewing machine in the first place. And the needles, oh man, the needles, they're gonna break after about 7 stitches. So just buy the normal, regular version of all those things separately, so that you can, you know, kind of figure out which kind of quality you're getting. Some of them are going to be better than others. So you can look at the reviews and say, okay, these are hot garbage. These are great. I'm going to buy these. Instead of having the manufacturer take those hot garbage ones and sneak them into that pack on you. Learning how to tailor your clothes can already seem intimidating in and of itself. So we don't need to make this more difficult by throwing all these unnecessary accessories or tools at it. Just keep the setup simple. Keep everything simple and plain and boring. And now that you know what not to buy, I think we should go talk about what you should buy. More specifically, what should you look for in a used sewing machine? What makes a used sewing machine actually worth buying versus like a piece of hot garbage? Let's go talk about it. It's in the next video. I'll see you over there. SD out. See ya.